Hello everyone. Today's video I'm making on this jade plant. So this is around 5-year old plant, as you can see. It looks pretty dense now. So I'm going to show you some background of this tree, which is in 2020. So this is the material you can see. So this material comes from one of my friends, and so in 2020, I did some work on this tree. So this was grown from a cutting, and it was never styled. I think he pruned it probably once in a while, but not like really styled it. So I did some pruning. All the branches which you can see look leggy, so I prune them all and remove the extra branches also. And afterwards we wired the tree. So in jade plant you can use the wiring, but the minimum, I like to use minimum wire on the jade plant because it responds much better to clip and grow. So if there is some branch which is like really good and you don't want to lose it and you still want to kind of bring it to some particular place or arrange it in a particular way, then it's a good practice for jade. You can do that. It works. But yeah, but the clip and grow method is also good. If you cut the branch and you can decide which way it grows, so it responds really good to the pruning. And afterwards we removed the soil, and in this soil mixture I used some rice hull. So those who it's like a kind of similar to perlite effect. So if you cannot afford perlite or it's too expensive, rice hull is like widely available throughout India, so you can just buy or get it. I mean, even 20 kg is a lot of rice hull, so you can just buy it. The volume is more, so but it's not heavy, so it can make your soil like really really good quality. I mean, if you have compact soil, it's really a good solution to add some rice hull. So we pruning some of the extra roots. This tree doesn't have branches on the lower part. It's mostly on the canopy part. It's looks pretty dense, which is a good thing also. So it's going to be like a little bit different style, which is good. So here you can see I'm trying to find some particular angle from where the tree looks best. So I didn't use like sand in this soil. I think it was just simple our local soil with some rice hull. So this can also work for people who have like not clay soil, but still you can put some rice hull in and it can be useful. Many people in Indonesia, I've seen there are so many people they using rice hull, especially for the cuttings and air layer. So when they are like the plants are in growing pods, or if they feel the soil is expensive, the volcanic soil. So I see in nurseries they are using a lot of rice hull mixed with the soil, cocoa peat and all that. So after 1 year, so you can see in 2021, that's how the tree looked. So it was growing pretty good. You can see it gave so many shoot, and all the canopy area is look pretty dense. So I removed some of the lower branches. It didn't give any shoot in the middle of the trunk. It was like only on the base. So yeah. And as you can see, the trunk line is pretty straight and there is not enough taper, so I kept that lower branch. And it's not like only in 2021 I pruned it. I pruned it before also, but I didn't record every time I was pruning. But this one I happened to record, so it's a good. I'm adding it in the video. So if you want to have a compact tree, nice looking, you need to prune it regularly, especially jade plants, because they have the tendency to grow downwards, and at some point they become like really leggy, and it will just start looking like a house plant if you don't maintain the structure and not pruning it properly. There is also one more problem. If you allow it to grow wild, and some branches might get heavier on the side, so the tree can also flip on the side, or it can just go out of the pot. Sometime it falls. Like this one, my pot is plastic and it was not very heavy, and the soil was also light because I used rice hull. So this one was falling a lot. So I have to tie this tree with the pot and kind of keep some rock on the bottom to keep it heavy, because the jade is like kind of have a lot of water in the trunk, so it makes it heavy. The wires are still there because the tree didn't get like really thick from the branches. It's mostly growing back from all those shoots, and I'm not also trying to thicken the branches anymore. It's more like ramification, so I'm trying to get new branches and thin ones so I can fill those gaps and create pads. So after once you have all those primary branches, like on the sides, right side, left side, back, front, after that one should start working on the ramification. And the ramification comes, it takes many years, you cannot get it in 2-3 years. It can take like at least 5 years, like this size of tree. Yeah. And the more pruning session it goes through, it gets gets more branches and get more dense, and it start looking like a like a tree in the nature. So yeah, that's how it goes. So this was one of my video. I uploaded it before, but I think not many people watched, so I just removed it from my channel and downloaded it, and so I edited it in this video. So I try to make it like as look like a one project. Before I was doing updates, but I think people not really, they don't watch or they don't bother like going back and looking for the previous progression. So I try to put like 2-3 years work in one video. And now it looks pretty good. Okay, so this part I want to grow a little bit higher, and as you can see now it looks even more dense. So this is what happens with regular pruning. This is the back part of the tree, and you can see I tied it with the rope. And now look at the canopy. So where we started and now it looks really good. I like this tree particularly because it has this like if you have seen juniper bonsais, they have this kind of style. Mostly they don't have like lower branches, and the top branch is like going downwards, and it has all the foliage. So this tree gives that kind of look. Unfortunately we cannot grow juniper in my climate, and pines and all. So I used to be like a big fan. I am still like a really big fan of juniper and pines and maples, and those are the trees when you get attracted to bonsai. So that's something you notice at first, and then later you realize that you cannot really grow them here in our climate. So you have to be happy and find some other trees, which you can work and which are practical for your climate and availability of the plants and everything. So jade is really good plant for the beginners, and it can tolerate heat really good. Like now this year we are having really strong summer, so usually it gets very hot in July, June, July, but it's already kind of similar temperature even this month in May, and all my jade plants are growing so good, and I keep them like out of shade. I have like a green net, so it covers my all trees. So they do get sunlight for 3-4 hours direct, and afterwards there is like a green shade. But all the jade plants, I keep them under full sun, and they just love the sun, full sun. They also you also need to water them, like, so when I water them, I water them like really good. So I make them shower and fill the pot with like until the water kind of I see the is coming or dripping down a little bit. So yeah, so they need water, plenty of water when it's hot, like now, 45 degrees, 42 degrees, and then they also need full sunlight, and that's good. And when they are in direct exposed to full sun and like for longer periods of time, they also look more mature, and because that water in the trunk, it's not like that much watery anymore, and the leaf size also gets smaller. I have also noticed that. So this one has really good root system. It's like not very thick roots, but rather they are more fine and good quality roots. That's what we're trying to create more in our trees, not the big roots and dominating roots. So you want like roots all around the trunk in all direction, and thin roots, more like white color roots, and yeah. So it's a good root system now, and you can see from this angle, tree looks very healthy, and all the canopy, it looks beautiful. I was also thinking of like removing the half top part of the tree and make a different tree from that, but then I changed my mind. I was like, okay, let it be like that. And now this is the pot I decided to give it. So this pot is not very shallow, as I told you before. This tree kind of have more long trunk and it gets heavy from the side, so I just want to give it more deeper pot, so when the roots kind of go, the roots have more space in the bottom, so it can look more strong and not like falling or tilting on the sides. I mean, you can always tie the tree with the pot, but yeah, so this is also it's also like looks more balanced in this way, at least that's my own perspective. Some people might use like really shallow pot. I think it will look good in shallow one also, but this is how I choose this pot. That's what I think at the moment, at least. I mean, the way I perceive and all my understanding and what I find beautiful, it also keep changing. So like you just keep doing it, and when you start, you have like a different kind of vision and how you see everything. But as you keep doing this for years, and it keep changing also, you start learning and just have more experience. And so yeah, in the future I might change and whatever I'm doing now, and all the soil and pots and the style, whatever I'm doing, so it might change also. I mean, there are so many things which have changed, and so I think people who are in learning process and not rigid, open, I think you will always keep changing, because learning is like always, you know, it's never fixed, so there is no like a fixed system. I mean, there are some things which you cannot change. I think it's the all those that part what we call botany, you know, the all the scientific thing. Yes, it's gonna remain probably same, but the artistic perspective and all that thing keep changing. So this soil mix has sand, I think almost like 70-80% sand and some crushed brick. That's all. And yeah, I think some cow dung manure also there. One more thing, if you feel like, or if there are not enough roots on your jade plant, you can always defoliate it. So I don't do that practice on jades, but I know it's a good practice, but it takes like really long time, because you can see all that foliage. You know, it will take probably 2 hours to just remove all those. And my tree has good root system, so I think it's gonna be okay. And I have done it so many times, and none of my tree has died so far. So yeah, but many people, you know, I've seen some good artists who work on jade, they defoliate it. Yeah, so it does work, and it's good way to kind of not give your tree shock. So if you have time and you kind of enjoy that defoliation process, and your root system is not that strong, and you have done like a lot of root pruning, you can defoliate. So that's like some information I wanted to give in. And for the soil, I think I have already explained about jade in my previous videos. If you watched it, I hope you already know about it. Yeah, I think I kept it for too long. This this particular part. Okay, guys. So that's how it looks. I'm really enjoying my new pots. It looks so good, especially for the jade. You can see the black glaze. So this pot is brown, and it has like this dark glaze brown color, brown and kind of black. So it looks really good with the jade plant. That shade, you know, the trunk color and all, it looks pretty good. And the purpose of crushed brick on the top layer is, one thing, it gives a good, it looks good, the tree looks really good. And second is, when you are watering, you know, so you don't like give any harm or damage to your roots. And the soil will never go out from the pot. So when you are showering your tree, or so it also works like a mulch. And when the sun is strong, and also I think it help the tree to maintain some moisture down there. But never use the grit as a replacement of crushed brick, because that one, in India we call it bajri. So yeah, or stones, crushed stones, because they are not porous, they don't soak any water or any nutrients, and and they will like really block the soil from getting the air and nutrients. So that is not good. So don't use budgery or crushed stones for the top layer. Even in the soil, I won't recommend it because it's not porous material, so it's not good. I've seen some people use it, but in long term, it really kind of damage your tree. The crushed bricks are really good substrate. And I told it before, you should always soak your bricks before you crush them. It makes it easier to crush them and also remove all the salts present in the brick. So because when they are making brick, there is some amount of salt they use in making of brick. So it's a good thing to keep them in the water for 24 hours or 48 hours before you crush them, and all the salt, it dissolves in the water, and then you can use those bricks. And yeah, so that's how it looks now. If you can see the lower branch, the one which is right like on the bottom part of the tree, so I plan to grow that one in the future, and I want to make some pad from that, and so let's see how it goes. So this is all, guys, for this tree. Thank you for watching this video. If you're still watching it, I'm really thankful to that. And if you learned something new or it inspires you, press the like button, subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.